From Terror Vision, we have the 1987 Video Violence, a shot-on-video horror film which really was tapping into the home video market at the time. We have a husband and wife who opened a video shop in this small town. It just so happens to be that everybody in this small town has a video player and loves to rent tapes. And one day when they receive a tape back in their Dropbox that isn't theirs, they put it on and discover what looks like someone being murdered. And this sets in motion a chain of events as they slowly feel as if this town is wrong, as if there's something just a little bit not quite right with everybody and everything that's here.
Well, could this be some kind of a joke? Maybe it's a play or a scene from a movie or something.
You have this idea of video nasties at the time, how being able to access everything was such an unusual event, and people would consume lots of things that they would never been able to get their hands on before. And it comments on the fact that the most mundane of person could be renting the most craziest of releases simply because they can, because they now have that ability. But there's also this commentary on, does these video nasties or these films influence people to create something similarly? Do they become warped in their sensibilities simply because of what they're being subjugated to, because there is nobody controlling what they watch anymore? It's a crazy ideal, but I like the fact that the film tackles these kind of themes.
Some guy ranting and raving about video murders and conspiracy in the town of unfriendly people who all have VCRs.
Now, as a horror film and as a shot and video film, this is probably one of the best ones I've seen. Now, there are moments where it's rough around the edges, where it's not exactly perfect, but because it has all these rich thematics throughout it, because it has this great tale that it's trying to tell, it gets away with being a little bit rough because it fits in with the narrative of the story. These couple who constantly keep finding various tapes, who feel that things are just a little bit wrong within the town, slowly realise that they may have uncovered something that they wish they hadn't uncovered. I liked video violence because I liked the characters, I liked the situation, I liked the idea of a town where everybody was just a little bit off, a little bit wrong in a disturbing way. The way the characters would look, or the knowing glances between the townsfolk as opposed to the new people who have come into this town. The story of the various murders that keep being posted here, almost as if someone is toying with them, giving them the evidence and taking it back before they can do anything about it. And then, of course, there are the murder sequences as well, which are really kind of fun. They're tongue-in-cheek, they're silly, they're a little bit different, and the killers in this one are, again, fun, a little bit annoying at times, people who aren't particularly nice, but then they're doing particularly horrific things. But I keep going back to the idea of the thematics here. A lot of the shot and video films, a lot of just general horror films don't have much to say, but there's this strong aspect throughout this one of family, of community, of values within that, of loyalty. There is the whole aspect of, right at the time, all these films being available to everybody, and could it warp, or could it just make work people more creative, which I particularly love. I feel like it's a fascinating element to this film. The video violence for me was like a real discovery. I really enjoyed this one a lot. It's something I can see myself going back to and just really enjoying. It's a little bit hokey. It's a little bit forced in elements. And again, like I said, a little bit rough around the edges. I can forgive that because there is so much other great stuff going on in this film that it just made me really, really enjoy this one. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras for video violence. Here we are in the disc for video violence. Let's go to the extras. First up, we have an archival commentary from 2007 and a fairly recent commentary from 2022. We have an archival interview with the director Gary Cohen on Video Violence 1 and 2. This runs for 14 minutes 5 seconds. He's kind of talking about creating these films, how he got the first one made, looking for finance for the second one, the kind of editing issues they ran into. Lots of fun stuff here. Next up, we have the documentary, The SOV That Wouldn't Die, The History of Video Violence and Its Fandom. And this is 33 minutes, 11 seconds. This is great because it really delves in to the sort of legacy of these films. It chronological, shows you key points in its history. They're at a screening of the films in a theatre, and they're kind of talking to the fans who are giving their opinions as well. Next, we have interview with actress Paige Price, which is 5 minutes 35 seconds. She spends a little bit of time talking about how she came from All the Right Moves onto this, and how there was kind of difference in the production standards there. We also have an interview with makeup FX artists Mark Dolson and Mark Kwiatek, and this is 12 minutes 58 seconds, just talking about where they were when this was getting made, how they discovered the production, how they just kind of get dragged in and involved in it, and their part in it as well. And that's the extras for Video Violence. There we have it. Part 1 of this 2-film set was an absolute joy. Loved it. Possibly the best shot and video film I've seen as yet, and one that I will definitely go back to, one that I will rave about and say, you need to check this out. It was terrific. I'd love to know your thoughts on Video Violence if you've seen it, so let me know in the comment box below whether you loved it, hated it, whether you're interested in checking it out or not. I just want to know your thoughts on this film and particularly this release. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always in which you can support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.